Hi team, it's Woodsy's Woodshop. We're building a little sofa table, little table that goes round the arm of a sofa, and it looks like this. Okay, and I've reached a little moment. I've reached a little moment because I've finished cutting all the tiny little tenons, and they are here. Okay, so these are all the little pieces that are going to go to building this table. Some of them are a little bit irregular, but I don't think that's going to matter. I did my best. It's not perfect. These are all cut by hand, 1/4 inch tenons. So I got fairly good at it, and they're okay, I think. You just, as usual, don't look too close. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tidy them up with a bit of sanding, because you can see, like here, there's some black marks where they've been through the iron hole, which is still a bit new, I think. So it's leaving marks. That one there looks really sort of shorter than the others, as in it's not sitting up level with those. But I don't want to take any more off it because they're already smaller than they should be. Just because the wood was so uneven, I had to shave a load off. These are the slats to go on the bottom, sort of make the shelf, and these are the 8 legs. And so I've got to cut some. So these are the tenons. So I've got to cut the mortises in here. I think I might try routing the mortises. And I'll do that now. So I'm going to mark them all up where they need to be. One measurement I don't know is how high off the ground to put them, but that's alright. So I'll cut the legs to length and mark them up, and then I'll cut the mortises for those little bits there. Right, so that's kind of one done. Now, it's not bad. think it'll look okay. Remember, you're only going to see that. You are going to see. Maybe I need to take a little bit off each of these corners so that you don't see that gap. See that gap there? Just there. So I'm going to have to take a little length off the bottom of all of these. Just like a little bit off there. But essentially I've got to do that, and then I've got to do it there as well, because you have one piece coming in here, one piece coming in here. But I think that's going to be okay. And I've just got to do all of them now, of which there will be, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24. 24 of these I've got to cut. But then down here, 3 inches up, I'll actually dig a groove out. I'll actually dig one out. And the other problem is, of course, that this is my smallest chisel, which is bigger, just bigger than the actual tenons. So really I should have cut the tenons to be as wide as my smallest chisel. Didn't think of that, but again, as you've just seen in that little time lapse there, I sat down ready to chop out all these little mortises by hand, and I thought, right, I'm going to do like one of those massive time lapses, like in the Jim's Garage episode, which is 40 minutes of pure gold, so check that out. Yeah, so I fully sat down prepared to start chopping out all these mortises by hand, and I thought, you know what, this is taking a long time and I'm not very good at it, and I think I can get similar results with the good old router. So that's what I did, and they are, you know, they're okay. That one's a bit big, but they're all right, and I've done all those. That's a little stopper because that one was too long. That's the first one I did, it's too long. And the thing is, they don't have to be perfect, so the way I've designed it is that when this goes in, you don't actually see it. And when this goes in, you don't see it, you see? So it'll look good when it's done. So now what I've got to do is I've got to figure out which leg goes where. Well, it doesn't matter actually. So now what I've got to do is cut the other one, because every leg's on a corner. So where there's, sorry, let me just see what I'm doing. So where there's a hole there, there also needs to be a hole there. And where there's a hole there, there needs to be a hole there. So I've got to do the same thing, but 90 degrees round. Now let's just think. Now it does matter, because I've not made these very well. There's almost like a long side and a short side, which doesn't matter as long as they're all the same, which they are. I don't know how I did that either, but I did. Shh, don't tell the client. It'll look fine, because they're all the same. So I've got to go dirt, dirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the tops to show me which side to do all the holes on. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to pop you down. Yeah, so that's a 4, yeah? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I number these, pencil, if I number these like this and say glasses and say 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the sides that we need to do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's good. And now I'll do A, B, C, D. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a very shallow one. Anyway, yeah, right. Look at this all coming together. So this is now A, B, C, D, and I need there and there. You see that? So the holes have to be in that side and that side. Alright, so that's my next job then. And I'm going to router it, because why the hell not? And especially for these end ones, I can just go, job done. Okay, so let's get you on the old time lapse and see what Alright, see how much quicker that goes? And they're at least as good as what I could do by hand, me being a bit of a klutz. So I've got to do, oh god. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, I haven't done that one. Phew! I just haven't done that one. Oh god. Thought I'd made a huge error, but I just haven't routed that one out, and he did 3. What an idiot. See what I mean about being a huge klutz. I'll just do this one quickly, just show you real time how quick it is. That's it. And just take out a little bit of the bottom just to square this rounded edge off. That's basically done. Just check the depth. Spot on. Alright, so yeah. So that's done. Now I've got to transfer these round to there. Alright, so that's got to be there in the same place, crucially. All right, see? All marked up. There's the one top notch I didn't do. Now I've got to route them out and just do the thing. So I'll try and find a better angle for you, I think, for the time lapse. But that's all that's left. And this is actually going quicker than I that's a huge chunk of work that I thought was going to take me hours and hours, and it's done. Now each one of these is going to take tweaking when I figure out what goes where. So all these little pieces, all these little puzzles now all got to go together. You know, that goes in there, and then yeah, and then that goes in there, you know, all that sort of stuff, and it all needs to be tweaked. And once I've figured out where it all goes, then it's just a case of, I mean, do I sand everything now? Or do I put it together and then sand it? I think when I'm putting it together, I'm going to have marks, aren't I? So I need to sand it afterwards, because it's all going to be, I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to clamp it. I suppose yeah, I'll do the two. Yeah. So this is, what's this? Sorry, glasses. This is C. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Just want to get some clampage on it. Right. Now, what I'm worried about is squareness. Now, clamping, I think I'll be all right. I haven't got any tiny clamps, so it's going to be these. So the thing's going to go the other way. I'm going to do it over there, so it's a bit more room. Something just fell over there. I'm just going to investigate. It was me headphones. Oh, they fell off. That's weird. Anyway. All right. That's going to work, isn't it? There's a glue up. How do I check square? How do I check square? Put that inside. Yeah, that works. and it's already pretty darn square. Okay, so loosen that off, get some glue. Okay, so everything's glued up now. I actually had to remake this one because the original is over here. And hopefully you can see, I'll just get it to focus. It was full of tear out and horrible bits, and I tried sort of filling it with glue and sawdust, which is a little trick, but there was far too much of it. So that one's firewood. Boink! And there they all are, sort of stacked up there. I know it looks higgledy-piggledy, but they're all fine. They're all stacked up very carefully. Just done that one. Look, a little bit of squeeze out still there. Got an injury. Always good to get an injury. A little bit of chisel action there. Just got away from me for a second. And the thing I was going to say, yes, so, oh, look, there's a blob of glue in there. Got to get that out. Otherwise that'll dry. And then I won't be able to get the next bit in. There we go. So as I made that replacement part, for some reason, the iron hole, the paint's coming off that thing there. I don't know whether that's a fault or me or what, but the paint's coming off. It's come off a little bit on some others. Look here. Little tiny bits of paint, but it really splammed all over that one, so I had to sort of sand it back. And as I was doing that, I did think, I should have sanded all these pieces before I put them together. However, I didn't. So, you know, maybe what you should do is do a test fitting, get everything together, and then sand it. But the problem with that would be, as I'm thinking, as I'm talking, problem with that would be that they'd all get jumbled up and all the bits fit, you know, because nothing fits perfectly the first time you put it together, and you've got to sort of tweak it and widen this and narrow that and blah blah blah. So eventually you end up with a tenon that goes in a specific mortise, and there's a lot of mortises and tenons there, and if I then started jumbling them up and sanding them, I'd get them all muddled up, wouldn't I? But you don't want to be working on them when you've sanded them. It's a chicken and egg type problem. I don't know. But these remaining pieces, I am going to sand them before I put them together, just to see how that goes, because they will just slot in those bits anyway, just to bring them all together. But you can see there, that's how tall it's going to be. You can see that, it's sort of coming together, starting to look like bits of table. Now what I'm going to do, as the weather is so gorgeous, I'm going to take this outside, and I'm going to belt sand it to within an inch of its life. Because this is the top, so I'm going to get that flat and ready to be cut into the two pieces, so then I can then make the L shape. So that's what I'm going to do.